Well, this is what lunch looks like today before I get started with the day. Leftover tacos and one of these that I have not tried yet. I do recommend. Can't really have lunch in peace. I'm finishing up my tacos. I look out the window, and who do you think I see? Yeah. It's our buddy Hilbert. Who thinks I should offer Hilbert a little bit of spicy taco meat? Maybe he'll go off into the woods and leave me alone for a little while. What do you think, Hilbert? ¿Tu quiere Taco Bell, señor? If you're wondering what Hilbert and I are up to today, the plan is to possibly move the batteries from there to the other side of the trailer tongue. I think I've mentioned before, it's just going to be easier if I have the battery bank here for hooking up my inverter somewhere inside the camper here. Also, these batteries are pretty dirty, so if I can unhook these and give them a cleanup, that would be helpful. Also not certain if the wire I have going from my charge controller to my batteries is going to be long enough to extend over here, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, the first thing I want to do inside the camper is make sure I have everything shut off that is connected to that battery bank. I know it's kind of dark, but under my fridge here is this panel. And where is the main switch? See this right here? It says main. So this green switch is the main power switch. I just shut it off. So now I have no power running to the camper. I'm gonna test this light to make sure. What? All right, I don't know. I shut everything off. Now let's check it. Technically, this really shouldn't work now. Oh my god, it still works. This just goes to show you that I don't truly know what I'm doing all the time. I thought by turning those switches off that, you know, the lights wouldn't work and all of that. I thought it would shut down the power to the whole camper. The lights still work. I have no idea why that is, but yeah. So feel free to learn by my mistakes, I suppose. So here's my solar charge controller. I need to disconnect everything before I'm going to be messing with the batteries. I read online that you should have your batteries hooked up to your solar charge controller before you hook your panels up. So I'm guessing I do it in the reverse order. I disconnect my panels from the charge controller first and then my battery next. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway and hope that I don't royally mess anything up, but that's what I gathered from Google. Okay, so I should have these two screws loosened up. Should be able to pull these out. Now, normally I would suggest taping these up with electrical tape. I don't have any, I'm just gonna keep them apart. Well, nothing weird happened yet. It doesn't show that there's any, you know, power coming through, obviously. But I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery next. Okay, so obviously I just pulled out the battery connection. So now I have no power at all running to the solar charge controller or the monitor up here. So now I should be able to safely disconnect all of these batteries. Alright, I've got the middle one disconnected first so I can pull that one out. Man, look how dirty. Well, lots of spider webs and cursing later. The second battery is unhooked. And take a guess at who doesn't like me making noise and moving stuff around over here. I think Hilbert's ready to attack me right about now. That's when we grab our trusty straw broom. Get going. Okay, all 3 batteries are out. Hilbert's pissed. Now I've got to unhook these little alligator clamps I put on for the battery cables that are attached to the trailer tongue. Got to unhook these so I can get them through the hole of this battery box. Alright, alligator clamps removed. I just had those on there, by the way, to make it easier to clip and unclip from the batteries rather than dealing with removing the bolts. So now we can start pulling the wiring out through the hole. Alright, now we're just left with an empty battery box we can clean out here. I also need to make sure that moving it from here to here, the battery cables that are attached here at the tongue of the trailer are actually going to reach. Because they are closer on that side. Well, that wasn't the most graceful landing. Okay, so all hardware has been removed from this. I do need to give it a little sweep out here. It still has some dirt and whatnot in it. But it has been confirmed that the cables that run from the tongue of the trailer are going to reach inside of here. I'm going to drill a hole somewhere here for those wires, or cables, sorry, to come through and attach to the first battery here. Of course, it is slightly crooked, kind of like it was over here. And since I don't have any more gravel to kind of pile up under here and straighten it out, I think I'm going to cut a little piece of board, stick it under that side, try to level it up a little bit. Giving the Crocs a little break today. I know, but it's the only saw I have. Well, that's a little more straight. It actually might be a little more crooked now on the opposite end. OCD never leaves me alone. Neither does that guy. How tall are these guys anyway? Always measure before you drill. Well, it was supposed to rain tomorrow and not today, but it's my weekend off, so I'm guessing it's gonna rain both days. Yeah. Well, I get a little bit done, and then I end up chasing Hilbert over there with the straw broom because he gets a little too close for comfort. I wasn't really anticipating this rain. But I'm just going to go ahead and give these batteries a quick wipe down and stick them back in the box. Well, I'm hoping I didn't mess anything up. I got the alligator clamps on. For some reason on this camper, this black cable is actually the positive and the white one is the ground. But I was just stretching this, thinking about removing it, and the positive cable from this battery... Oh! Yep, there we go. That's what I did, except it touched. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I didn't mess anything up. That's scary. Okay, so note to self. Try not to let these two ends touch since they're connected both to the positive and negative. Give me a heart attack. Anyway, I am going to try clamping these onto this battery and just testing the lights in the camper just to make sure everything's working before I hook up the other two to this one. Alright, I've got the alligator clamps on. Let's go try to turn on some lights. Well, that's a good sign. Battery's good. Alright, I think that means we're good to hook these other batteries up in here. Okay, so they're all hooked up, all connected. Positive to positive to positive, negative to negative to negative. So that increases your amperage instead of your voltage, which is what I want. I've got my one alligator clip on over there. I'm going to put this one on and go hook this up to the charge controller. Okay, do a light check. Those work. That's good. Okay, so I skipped showing you a step. But we've got the battery hooked back up to the charge controller. You can see here, sort of, maybe 12.9, but the solar isn't hooked up yet. I just have to go ahead and screw that in here. Black is negative, red is positive. Okay, we're back in action. You see here, we've got solar going to the batteries. Okay, everything appears to be good. Well, I guess I can turn all these switches on because I'm not really sure what shutting them off did anyway, since the lights and everything worked. Maybe somebody can let me know because I have no idea. Let me see here. Appliance, circuit, microwave, general purpose branch, air conditioning, main. I always thought that flicking this main switch off would just power everything down, but yeah, I don't know. Another thing I forgot to mention and forgot to do is I probably should have shut off my fridge when I was over there messing with the batteries, because I'm sure it was connecting on and off to the batteries as I was plugging them in and unplugging them. Well, I'm happy with that. I got the batteries moved over here where I want them. Yeah, so anyway, now that that's complete, hopefully I can get that 3,000 watt inverter that I've had for 2 or 3 years now hooked up soon. There also may be another reason why I moved my batteries over to this side, but I haven't decided yet. Anyway, we'll cover that on another video, maybe. Well, I sort of bowed out the battery box door. I was kneeling on it earlier and I heard a crack. I think maybe I had too much turkey dinner the other day.